So this will look a little different here when we create a new one for you because you're in CS6, as Farmer pointed out. You can't afford it. So we're going to retitle this to Seascape. We're going to make a Seascape. I'm going to put a 1 behind it. 72 resolution, RGB, 8-bit, real simple stuff. Hit create. That's what it'll look like on yours. What we're going to do first is we're going to take the select here, the rectangular marquee tool. We're going to select it, and we're going to select about 2/3. That's a little more than 2/3, so probably about 2/3 of the picture. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more. But that's what we're going to do. And we're going to select that. And then we're going to add in the gradient tool, which is in the paint bucket or the gradient tool. Paint bucket, gradient tool. I don't believe you have 3D drop tools. We're not worried about that. Now, after we make sure gradient tool's picked, we want to go to the foreground color. And we're going to pick a blue. We don't want it to be too dark, but that's going to be the first blue. And then we're going to pick the background color. And we're going to pick a little lighter blue. Good. Now we're going to use the gradient tool. Check and make sure up here you've got linear gradient. We're going to go top down and look at that first. Hold shift, it'll make it a straight line. Not much color variation, so edit, step backwards. If you need to do that, we're going to pick the background color. We're going to make it a lot lighter. Edit. Boom. Okay, that's better on the sky there. Darker at the top. At the bottom, it's very light. Now, we're going to add in the lower third. So we're going to click right here, make the lower third. We're going to change the color. Now, the seascape, the sea is almost a turquoise, so we want to be more towards the green for the there. And we're going to go to a darker blue, like a deep dark blue for the background.
Bad things, man.
Yes, bad things today on bad things. All right, so ruined. I got you. They'll like that. They'll actually like that. So we're going to pick in this. We got that there. We're going to go from the bottom up this time. So it's darker there, and you got a nice horizon. So basically, we've got our sky, and we've got our ocean. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a sun. So we're going to click up here, and click on the elliptical. We're going to do a circle. We're going to click gradient, and up here we're going to use a little gradient setup, and we're going to pick the orange and the yellow. We're going to change it to a radial gradient. Okay, and I'm going to come right through the halfway, and we're going to make that the sun. Okay, so we got our sun there, and after we do the sun, we're happy with it. We're going to go up here to filter, render, lens flare. Now there's a couple of lens flares here that look a little different, but the 105 prime is the best. And we're going to move it to kind of like right here. And we're going to click OK. So we got a little sun flare there. There's a little 3D effect. It's real simple. Now, the sun would obviously reflect on the water. So that's what we're going to do now is we're going to edit, copy. You can hit Control-C for the shortcut. And then we're going to edit and paste. Then we're going to click on our Move tool and drag it down here. Now, obviously, it wouldn't be directly under it. We're going to give it here because we're going to skew it some. All right. Right there. And that just kind of pops off the screen right there. Pretty cool. Now we're going to give it what a reflection would look like. So let's see. We go to, we're still on this. This is our active layer. We're going to go to Edit, Transform, and we're going to pick Skew. Okay. Now we're going to skew it this way. We're going to pull it this way. We're going to shrink it a little bit. And let's say we go right here. So we want it to be right here. We got to pull it back some just to get the skew right. Make it a little longer. Yeah, you can invert the reflection. I guess you could do that. I'm not too worried because we're going to screw up this reflection pretty badly here in a second. So I've got my skew right there. Hit enter. I could invert it. He's right. In chat, the Dayon says you can invert it, put the little white thing up here. But once we do this, you're not going to notice that. Or he will, but I'm not too worried about it yet. But yeah, we should have inverted. So let's just move on to, let's see, where we're going to add a ripple effect to this, the whole bottom half. So what we want to do is we want to right click and we want to merge down. Okay, so we got it on one layer now. We're also going to go back up here to our elliptical, make it a rectangle. And right below the blue, we want to pick that whole layer right there. So we've got it inside. We don't have to go to the top or it'll ripple the top. We want a flat line there on that. We're going to go to Filter, Filter Gallery. Yours is going to look a little different, but essentially it's the same. We're going to click Distort and Ocean Ripple. And
welcome, tributes. We welcome you.
We just got hosted by DeadMK. Thank you for the host there. And click OK. And we got our water ripple there. So it looks a little bit like a water ripple. You can change the effects of that if you want. Now, obviously we're missing something here. So some people wanted clouds today. So I'm going to draw with the lasso tool here. We're going to draw a small, ugly little cloud. Alright, he's lonely. But we need to make the cloud fill in some. A couple ways we can do that. The simplest way is just use the gradient tool. Go to white and gray. We're going to click back on the gradient tool and we're going to go back to linear. We're going to go back to the color, not the one we chose, but the actual colors. Then we're going to click across it, so we got a little bit of a cloud there. And the beautiful thing about this cloud is I can hit Control C, Control V, and make another cloud. Oops, edit, undo, fail. So I got to click on the move first, and then I can make this cloud up here go right there. Okay. Make another cloud up here if I want to. And you know, we can overlap them. We can make the sun, but if you block out the sun, remember it's not reflecting, so we really don't want to do that. I'm going to put another cloud up here, like that, and right there. That's good. Now, you can add a third cloud, a fourth cloud if you want to. Nothing wrong with that. But we're going to add a little island back here. So we're going to start off. I'm going to just draw a little land. I'm going to come down here. And I'll probably do that too big. But I'm going to move it back this way anyway to get it away. Enter. Oops, I can't do that. So let's make it smaller. We're going to deselect. Select deselect, and we're going to make it a little smaller because I've got to put it in there where it's going to. I just don't want it to cover our sun. Now we're going to fill it with bucket fill. We're going to go with a green bucket fill. We're going to go with a green, kind of a dark green. Not going to let me because I'm not on the layer. There it is. Now I can click on this, and we got us a little island there. Okay, we can move it around wherever we want. Remember, you just don't want to cover your reflection. And bring it up some. We hit enter, and now if we want, we go select, deselect. We can make a little beach on that island. We're going to click the lasso tool again. We're going to click out here. And this time we're going to pick like a sandy color. Kind of white out here. And we're going to bucket fill sandy color. Like that. And select, deselect. Yours may come out like that, it may not, but we got us a nice little beach there. If we need to move it, it's going to move that whole thing, remember that, okay? So just be careful there. You can make a different layer. You can add a layer if you want to make each one its own layer. Alright, so now they wanted some birds. Now we're going to be real simple. with the birds. We're going to go in, we're going to zoom way in here. We're going to use the lasso select, and we're going to make a couple little V's. Okay, there's one. Today I'm making comments in chat. We're going to go to bucket fill. We're going to change this to a black. Just because it's kind of a shadow. Alright, now we're going to Control C that and Control V that. Click the move. I'll move that there. Control V. Control V. Make a bunch of birds here. Just like they're flying in a little flock. Okay, now we go to View. And thank you for the bits there, Fire Medic. Zoom out. Right there, we got our birds right there. Alright, so one thing we added in one of the last ones was ship. Excuse me, a boat, a little sailboat. So I'm drawing with a mouse, so this is not going to be real accurate. But okay, like that shouldn't be anything like that. Select, deselect. Remember, you can always undo this. Okay. Don't like it. Select, deselect. Okay, that's close enough. We're going to pick white bucket fill. That. We're going to use this in the foreground here to make a little wooden post. Bucket fill. We're going to make this like a brown color. So we go up here, get a brown here, close to it, a little wood color for you. Alright, so we can move that to the right, left, up, or down if we want to. Oops, no we can't, because I'm part of that. Edit, undo move, edit, step backwards. We're going to try this again, select, deselect. Okay, so right there. Yeah, it's going to move that. Edit, step backwards. We're going to introduce a new layer. Layer, new layer, so we can work on this. We're going to hit OK. We're going to select, deselect. We're on layer 5 now. Depends on what you got. Now we're going to use this like this. Little boat. Put it in the bucket fill. We're going to slide layer 5 behind layer 4. We can move it around. Now we're going to make the sail. Let's say this is very rudimentary. It's very simple. We're not putting too much into it. Bucket fill after that. With a wool. Let's go white. And bucket fill here. Okay. Again, I'm drawing with a mouse, not a Wacom. When you get in graphic design, they'll use a Wacom. Bucket fill. Get a little more there. So I got a nasty little boat there. You can put a shark in the water, or you can put something else there. They're real simple. You know, we're not looking for nothing fantastic. I don't care what kind of artist you are. Finally, you want to put text. You're going to put your name. Let's go here. We're going to go to black text. See it. And you're going to type here. All of your stuff's up here. All of your sizes. So, that should be your actual name. Your actual name there. And we can move it around. Change the font if you want. Whatever. And then we'll submit that. So pretty simple little cheesy drawing Seascape. Nothing too hard. When you file, save, you'll just save it as a PSD file. File save as. It'll save as a PSD. I'll be around to kind of help you. Make sure you save it as your first name and your last name. So if your name's John Smith, you're going to save it as John Smith. Real simple stuff there. Real simple stuff. If you got any questions, I'll be around to help. That being said, that's all we're going to be probably doing tomorrow, is just working on our seascapes, our little, I hope you draw a better boat than I do. But this is just a real quick introduction to Photoshop.